no one ever talks about Evil Dead when they think about possession, but it's like the ultimate.
Best.
It's like
Yeah.
the ultimate possession, right? Like multiple people get possessed.
No more room in hell. The dead walk here.
Please, God.
Death is God.
And welcome back to Check the Candy. I'm John. This is Taylor. Taylor, say what up.
What up?
So today, got another episode for you. Before we start, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment on all the videos. Get that algorithm going. Got plenty of episodes out. Done some film reviews. We did Skinamarink. We got our
Skinamarink-a-dink-a-dink.
what a crazy movie, man. We have our Valentine's Day special out. Got plenty 2 episodes of Unwrapped out. Going to be doing more of those. So make sure you stay tuned and we'll keep it rolling. So today, pretty cool episode. We're going to talk some possession films. Just go along that whole subgenre. Just rocking the Exorcist shirt. I fucking love it. So yeah, we just figured we kind of bunch them all together, talk about our favorite possession films, and what the subgenre kind of means to horror as a whole. Because as many of you know, I'm a pretty big possession film guy. One of my favorite subgenres of horror for sure. The Exorcist being my all-time favorite movie. Still does it for me to this day. Still holds up. Taylor, I know you have different feelings about that movie. Kind of being, you're not really the slow burn type.
No, I'm not. All right, so that movie is very good. It's a very, very, very good movie, but it is so slow.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. That's a slow burn, and that's what John likes. Is that he likes a good story and a good, build up to the climax of the story. And
Right.
I appreciate that. I do. I like that. But as far as somebody with ADHD sitting down and watching a slow burn that's forever long, it's really hard to do.
Right.
Now I have made it through it, and I do enjoy it. It's a very, very good movie. It's just not my cup of tea.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah, you always, I feel like since we've known each other, you've always appreciated those types of movies. You see the brilliance in them, I think. Hereditary was kind of the same way with you. I feel like not really a possession movie per se, but
no,
but
but
that slow burn style,
it was a slow burn, but it was one that I liked. Like
Right.
I actually, and I hate A24. A lot of people know that I hate A24. I've grown to like A24 a whole lot more since Eggs and Pearl, but
Right.
and of course Tusk, but which Tusk was way prior. No one knew that,
Right.
but no, no, I'm not a big. I do appreciate, but I'm not a big huge fan of slow burns and stuff like that. So go ahead.
Yeah, which is interesting because I think, I feel like maybe not all, but I feel like a lot of possession films are slower movies because I think it's the dialogue that kind of builds the that tension up in those types of movies. Because when you get a possession film that's too actiony, it doesn't feel as genuine, I guess would be the
Real,
word.
real,
Yeah,
almost like
it just feels like they're trying to go in a different direction, and it's a little, then you have to add a lot of like CGI when you got things crawling on the fucking walls and running around and
and
pushing
that's the thing
people
I
and
like, like I like
right.
the Conjuring or not the Conjuring, but yes, the Conjuring.
Yeah, good
Um,
movie. Good movie.
but like Constantine and
Yeah.
just shit like that. And then you got like the right, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, the
Um,
right's good. I feel like that didn't have too much of action though. There was a lot of good dialogue in that, but it was fast pace.
it wasn't like so much dialogue that it was slow, like, and I
Yeah.
get that, like I understand that whole like you have to have this story and you have to have this, you know, whatever to build this. And I don't know, like for me, I like to watch people crawling on the walls. Like
Right.
I'm just like, oh, that's cool. That's really cool, And then I'm back on my phone again. I think the phone. I think my phone's an issue. I think I need to like plug my phone up and just stay
Right.
away from it when I watch a movie.
Yeah, do what you did with Skinamarink and turn the volume all the way up.
Hmm.
At least it's not as
I
slow
had
as
my,
that.
I had my phone plugged up, dude, and
Yeah.
it was easier to watch. Yeah, I just need to stay away from my phone.
Yeah, the Conjuring is a cool one to bring up because it's like more possession towards the end of the film, I guess. And
Like
so
a
there's
haunting possession.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
those movies. So I recently watched those. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm very passionate about those movies
Yeah,
because
they're fucking good. I love those movies.
yes, dude. Like I didn't watch those until like 2 Christmases ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was fairly recently.
Yeah, it was very, very soon. And I banged them all out. And I never, they hooked me. Like
Yeah,
I don't like possession films. I don't mean to say that. I like possession films, but they're not my favorite.
right.
So like, and this wasn't really a possession. It was more like, I don't really like haunting films either. So
Yeah,
like, but like, I mean, as soon, like, look at that.
yeah,
As
fuck
soon as
yeah.
soon as I got done watching The Nun, man, I went and painted that painting. And and by the way, guys, all these are by me, signed and everything. They're $2,000 on Etsy if you want one. But so like when I watched those, they really grabbed me. Like as far as like a movie and actually being scary,
Yeah, for sure.
those are ones like I would recommend to people.
Yeah, James Wan, like I know there's the whole Conjuring universe, so he didn't do like every single one, but like, or he was either a producer or a consultant on most of them. He directed a lot of them too, as far as like, you know, The Nun and Annabelle and all those movies. But
Mhm.
there does seem to be possession almost in all of those movies in some sort of way. But then there's
Yeah.
also other things. You have like the jump scare factor. There's murders in those movies. Like, so I wouldn't
Mhm.
say it's like slasher or anything, but you do get all these dynamics in those movies that kind of twirl into one, so they're not as much of a slow burn. So I could see why you would like those. I mean,
Yeah.
like Annabelle Comes Home, dude, that movie is so fucking good. And like it's a little bit possession. It's not crazy, but like that movie was fucking good. And I'm not a huge fan of the Annabelle series. Like the other ones were all right, but that one in particular was like just crammed up into the house. It was all basically in their house, and dude, that movie was scary.
So remind me again because it's been a minute since I watched them. There's Annabelle and then Annabelle Creation and Annabelle Comes Home.
Right, yeah.
Um,
And Annabelle Comes
Annabelle,
Home is like the one where it's I think like after or before the first Conjuring, where they're like driving it and they bring it home, and then they leave, and it's like the daughter and her babysitter, and then like some of the friends that are there.
and then it shows how the girl is possessed by, and she goes into the doll. Is that the right one?
No, that's well, there's Annabelle, and then there's Creation. Creation is like when the girl went into the doll, and then Comes Home is technically like the third one where it goes back to kind of Ed and Lorraine Warren's house, and
Okay.
it like everything in the house starts coming
Yes. Oh, yes.
alive
Okay.
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Dude,
Yes.
that movie
Okay.
fucking rules. So not totally possession, but you get the idea of that all these, these artifacts. I think we tend to think that possession is just by people when really like in Annabelle Comes Home, the entire home is, all those artifacts that they had collected are possessed in some sort of way. There's something in all of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, so I think we think of possession as being, when I say possession films, right? We think of the Exorcist,
They're like people being possessed, but it's not
yeah,
necessarily that. It's
right.
objects.
Objects as well, a lot of things. So the Conjuring universe does a really good job with that. And I think before we go too much into the Conjuring, we should probably do an episode on the Conjuring universe.
We should. We should
Yeah,
do
that
an
would be a
episode
great one.
because
I feel like that'd be like a 2 hour episode.
yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah,
I wanna move on.
that'd be a great one to
But
do. I feel like we could
that's
go on that forever.
that's one that I would love to talk about just because I'm very passionate. Just
Mhm.
I'm a newcomer at those movies and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
loved it.
those are good, man.
I've got another one for you.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Bird Box?
Oh man, I think I did.
That's it's like a Netflix. I believe it was a Netflix
Yes, I
release
did.
with
It's kind of like A Quiet Place, but
yeah, well you couldn't see, you couldn't look
right,
at
you
it, you
couldn't
know.
look. Right, right,
So like I didn't know if that was necessarily possession, but like if you seen whatever that was,
right.
it took you over and
Yeah,
you were this other thing, you know?
right.
So like I didn't know honestly if that was like a possession style movie, but like
Kind of.
the Bird Box or the Bird, it's like the Walmart. The Bird Box is very good, but it's not it's very it's not slow. So it's a
No,
good movie. Did
right.
you watched it,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I watched
Yeah,
that movie.
that's an older one, but man,
Yeah, that
I
was
just
like,
thought about that.
yeah, I feel like that was like five years ago, probably something like that. Um, yeah, that was good, and I think the genre, the subgenre of possession, I think is just when you mention movies like that, is like way bigger than people think. I think there's
Yeah,
plenty of movies that you can go with where it's not just a demon possessing a body. There's a lot of other things too. I mean, but I mean, some of the better ones to me are obviously involve like a demon taking something. Like
yeah.
I really loved like the Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh,
You get that kind of yeah,
look at
dude,
that.
man, that movie.
Oh, this
That
movie is
movie.
great.
I think we were like probably freshmen or sophomores in high school when that came out. I
Yeah,
saw it in theaters like four times, dude. I was like, this movie's blowing me away, man. Just because they have that almost true crime feel to it as well with the whole courthouse, the whole you know, all that in there with it, because it's kind of, they kind of base it off true events. Um, and that story is
what
just wild, man.
is this the one that, hold on, is this the one that we were talking about? It's like filmed like a documentary.
No, that one's the Last Exorcism.
Yeah, okay, that
That
one's a good one
movie's
too.
fucking sweet. Yeah, that's a totally different style movie too, but that has some creepy scenes in that one, man. Um, Exorcism of Emily Rose, real quick. I mean, it has that scene where she's in the barn. Is that
Yes,
that?
I think it is. I'm almost positive it is.
Yeah, and she like says she's the devil in the flesh. She's like
Yeah, and she does all
one,
like
two,
this, like
three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
yeah.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then she starts naming all the demons.
Mhm. I
And
think
then
that one's it.
yeah, and then at the very end, she's like, and I'm the devil, or I am Lucifer, the devil in the flesh. And you're
And they're
just
like,
like,
holy shit.
dude, that part and the barn goes dark because it's like a lightning storm and her eyes are start glowing. I'm like, dude, that is such a well shot scene and so fucking effective, dude. That movie is fucking great. Starts off a little slow, picks up like 25, 30 minutes in and just never stops, man.
Mhm.
Really cool. They have the whole like, like I said, the trial happening all at the same time. She's eating bugs and shit. Like
Yeah,
that movie's so cool, dude. Very scary.
I
Um,
need to rewatch that. I've not seen that
dude,
in
man,
years, man.
we should do like just a full episode on that movie too, man. That movie's fucking awesome.
Let's do it, dude. I'll rewatch it. I mean, I'll own it, you know,
When you rewatch it, I want to rewatch it as well. I got a couple versions of that movie.
because I brought this one in here because I do remember liking this one a lot.
Yeah,
So
it's
like,
so good. That even that scene on the cover where she like having a dream and she like walks outside and she's talking to like an angel or something and her hands are just bleeding and she's like in front of that tree and it's like a foggy morning and I'm like, they give her like the option of like you can stay and fight it out or you can like come with us now.
yeah.
And just this idea that she's like, I'm gonna stay. I'm just like, yo, let's fucking go. Yeah. Fight that motherfucker. So dope. But just again, another beautiful shot. Like that whole foggy scene was fucking amazing. When you rewatch that, let me know because I'm gonna rewatch that with you. Fuck.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll let you
Um,
know.
but it's of course, like you said, the Last Exorcism, fucking awesome, dude. And
Yeah, see that was one that really stuck out with me just because it wasn't your typical possession film. Because
right,
at the end of it, it was very fucking strange, you know. And
yeah, it kind of stops being.
possessions more like
Well, no, it kind of stops being a found footage or documentary style at the end.
yeah,
It's like the
but it's not
first
like it's not
part.
necessarily possession. I guess it is, but it's more like
Well, there's kind of a cult feel
cult.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's such a cool
So
idea because like, the priest is going there because he puts on fake exorcisms because he's like, people don't understand, like these people, I can't remember exactly where they're located, but it's,
I think it's like Louisiana down the
might,
bayou or
might be,
something.
yeah, it might be somewhere close to you, bro. I don't know. But they,
Okay.
they're very,
Yeah.
very, well, they're very religious down there, and they have like this idea that there's no mental health, or there's no mental illnesses, like everything is demons,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
his idea of being like, I believe in, I have my beliefs, but like I also understand that there's medicine that can help these
Modern
people.
medicine that can get you
Yeah,
through this
so
shit.
so there's also like he understands of like the placebo effect of being like, if I just give these people a fake exorcism and make it seem real, they'll just like chill out. You know what I mean? Like, the 15-year-old girl could be going through her like first fucking period or something, and like mood swings, and like their parents think something crazy's happening. And then in the
Yeah.
movie, obviously, you find out something really is happening, which is great.
No, yeah, it's a that's a trippy one. I do enjoy that one, and I guess I like found footage, so that was like
Right.
double whammy almost because it kind of made me enjoy possession films a little bit more, or that one, at least.
Yeah,
But
and she has that, they have that one scene where she's like, how would I give you a blowing job?
yeah, yeah.
And he's like, what did you call it? And he's like, you're faking it. It's not a blow. He's like, it's not a blowing job, you bitch. It's a blow job. And the demon's kind of like, "Ugh." You're like, what the fuck? You're like, what the fuck was that about, man? But yeah,
That's
super,
funny.
super cool movie. And then they did the last Exorcism too, and it was absolutely terrible. They went away from the documentary style.
Didn't Eli Roth do both of those?
Yes, which I actually
Yeah.
love Eli Roth. But the second one was fucking garbage. She ends
All
up
right.
like going to like a boarding school, and it's terrible, dude. She's like
I didn't watch
driving and
it.
stuff. The demon's just like driving and shit. I'm like, oh fuck.
I bought it because I seen both of them. I think I have it on DVD, but I bought both of them. And the first that one I watched, and I was kind of normally I go like 1 and 2, but I don't know what I did. I didn't watch that one, so I don't know.
Right.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that one sucks,
Um,
dude. That's what I don't like about possession movies sometimes, is when maybe it's not the action, but it's like the idea that there's just this entity in another person, and then they're just kind of normal sometimes. Like that's why I like The Exorcist so much. She starts off normal, and then she's just bedridden, and things just get worse and worse, and the dialogue gets better and better until that final scene where her head's flipping around and she's fucking flying.
yeah,
She's hovering, like The
it's
Exorcist.
like worth the wait.
Right. And like it kind of makes sense that way, where you have like this entity in a human body, and the human and the entity are fighting for control. Whereas they, in some movies, that all of a sudden, like the demon's just like in the last Exorcism too, she's just like, sometimes she's normal and it's the demon. You know what I mean? It's like now the demon's already taken over. So what's, like when they're just like, when there's a demon and they're like driving and doing everyday things, that pisses me off. I'm like, that's not how it would work. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't
Yeah,
seem as believable. It's just like, okay, yeah, like all of a sudden the demon takes over, he goes for like a joyride or something, or
but
like,
if you scratch that and actually just look at it as like kind of like a fun film, maybe
right.
it's pretty good though.
No,
Like
yeah, for sure.
somebody like me going into it who is not big into these, maybe that one's a kind of a fun
Mm.
film to watch. That's kind of silly, but like you enjoy it,
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess I don't think of it as like a cheesy fun film yet, because it like wasn't that long ago. I mean, it's kind of long ago now, but I don't think about it as like a 90s film, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, I love '90s.
well, that's what I'm saying, but like now they seem even better, where like if you were 25 or 30 in the 90s, I think some of those movies people were like, oh, this isn't that good. And then like as it ages, like you get our generation who like loves that type of cheesy, stupid trash shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, and you see that by box office movies. Like Tremors didn't do well. You know what I mean? But like Tremors
Yeah,
is like one of the best movies of all time. Like I fucking love that
best
movie.
movies of all time.
But if you were in the
Crazy,
90s
crazy
seeing
good
that, you
movie.
were probably like, what the fuck is Kevin Bacon doing? Like, why is he in this
Yeah,
weird bug movie, you know?
yeah. He like, but that is a
All time,
we're
dude.
yeah, we're gonna have to do a thing over just that movie in general, just because
100%.
that movie
100%.
is
So good.
it's like the Mummy, man. It's just held up
Yeah,
to its own. Like
absolutely.
you could watch that movie over and over and over and over and
Yeah.
never get tired of
Like has adventure, has action, has comedy,
it. Everything.
has good monsters, yeah, it's fucking sweet, man.
It's great. I've got another one for you. I don't
Yeah.
really know if this is because, like I said, I'm not a big possession film, but I feel like this bitch is kind of possessed. The old one, at least. What about Drag Me to
Oh, Drag
Hell?
Me to Hell. Wow. Yeah.
That
Yeah. I
I
think,
remember watching this when it came out. I think I watched it in theaters, man.
yeah.
And this movie blew my mind. I fucking loved it. And then I rewatched it not too long ago. I'm like, this movie is so shit. It's so bad. It's so
Yeah.
bad.
Some movies turn out that way, man. It's weird. Like, I would consider that. Yeah, yeah. I think that's on the wider range of possession stuff. But
That's more of like the action that I like. This
right,
is
right.
shit that I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. I wonder, when did that come out? Does it say? I feel like that was around the same time as, 2009.
Yep, 2009.
Yeah, all those movies. There's something about that era that I just didn't love. Super weird, man. Like the remake of My Bloody Valentine. I didn't hate it. I liked it.
Oh, dude, I love all the like from like 2005 to 2010. I think all of those movies were
See,
really
I
good.
was more like 2005 to like 2009, and then like there was a lot in between that I didn't like after that, but there was a few. But like when you
Mhm.
got like the remake of Texas, and you got the remake of, and then you got like the Grudge and like
Yeah. Well, see, that's
Signs
when
and
like the
fucking all
Grudge and all
those.
that stuff, like the fucking Ring and all that, were coming out. Like,
Yeah,
I
it was
felt
all
like those.
PG-13 horror too.
Yeah, and I thought those movies, like even then, I felt like they were ruining like horror almost because I'm like, I don't like this. This is not what I want to
Well, it
watch.
was like the
And
real development of the jump scare, It was like you
yeah,
knew you could
but
get 13 or 14-year-olds taking their girlfriends to the fucking movies, and like
yeah,
you get the jump, and then
I
like,
will tell you one that come out around that time. Had to be 2009 or eight or somewhere around in there. Um, was The Strangers. That fucking movie kills, dude.
see, I don't like that movie.
What?
Yeah, I hate that movie. Well, I don't hate it, but
What?
I only watched it, really, I only watched it like twice, and it just
Oh, bro.
didn't do it for me.
Bro, I went and seen that opening night. I had my buddy with me. He was fucking 16, right? And I don't know how old I was. I had to have been 17, 18, something like that. And him and my other buddy, which was my age, they were like, I'm gonna get drunk. And they knew how much I loved horror.
Right.
And they're like, we're gonna get drunk before we go in. So I had a few beers with them, stuff like that, but they got fucking hammered, right? And I'm like, dude, you're gonna get kicked out of here because you're a fucking moron. You don't know how to do this and all this other shit.
You're gonna get
Well,
kicked me out with you.
thing was, I sit down and they sit down, him and so Addison and Jake, dude, they just fucking started being ignorant as hell, man. Just fucking dumb as shit. They ended up getting kicked out. Almost got me kicked out. I told the dude, I was like, I don't fucking know him. And I
Yeah.
watched that movie alone by myself opening night because I was so excited. And I made them wait. They kept texting me because we had the
Yeah.
little what were
Like a
those
Nokia.
green no, those green ones that like the
Oh
razors,
shit.
man. They're
Oh
fucking
yeah, yeah,
razors.
yeah.
They were texting me on the fucking razor, man. They're like, "We're waiting out. The car's locked." I'm like, "Sit the fuck out there. I'm watching this movie." So, I remember watching that in theaters, and that movie has never died for me. That will always like when Merle Haggard plays at the end. Like
Right.
it's life to me, dude. I fucking love that slasher serial killer vibe, like it's
Right.
just such a good back to possessions. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a cool experience you had with that movie too, though. So that always sets it off. I saw it in theaters, and I don't know what it was, just wasn't a huge fan. Um, but yeah, back to possession. What else we got here? I'm trying to think. Have you
I've
ever?
got one.
Oh yeah, yeah, go with it.
No, 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 no. Do it. You do
Well,
it.
I was wondering if you ever saw the movie called The Possession, and it was all about like Jewish like folklore, almost like this
No.
box. It's like this box that like the Jewish community feels that you can like trap something in a box, and it's like this specific box, and like so it's a rabbi like kind of doing the exorcisms and stuff, and it's a really cool movie. You should check that movie out. It's all about this girl, and she finds this box at like either a yard sale or a clean out or something, and she releases this thing, and it like latches onto her, and then her
Kind
dad
of
has to
sounds like the
get
movie
out.
The Box with Cameron Diaz. You ever watch that?
No.
Kind of sounds like that. But no, you were telling me about that movie,
Yeah, it's
and
pretty cool,
like,
dude. And the box is called something, but I don't remember. But it's like a thing in the Jewish community, and like it's really cool. He goes to like this young rabbi who like can't perform exorcisms, but like helps him out. It's really cool.
no, see, I seen that at my local exchange store or whatever.
Mhm.
And it was a couple days actually before you mentioned that one. So, and no, I've not picked it up. So I'll pick it up now and check it out.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool
Um,
movie. I like that movie.
from what you're telling me, sound like you need to watch The Box. I think it's called The Box with Cameron Diaz, and I think some other big name dudes in there.
Is it like a thriller or something?
No, it's kind of like a possession almost. I can't really remember, but
Hmm.
it's like I remember her getting it, and like her daughter had it, and she'd open it up, and there was like a bunch of shit that come out of it. But like I don't know,
Shit.
I'd have to watch it again. I don't
Sounds like a
quote me on any of
cross.
this.
Sounds like a cross between The Possession and Hellraiser,
Yeah, yeah, it
but
could be.
featuring but starring Cameron Diaz.
I think it's Cameron Diaz. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, no, I'll grab that one. I do have another one for you. It's called Evil Dead.
Fuck
Um,
yeah, dude. Yeah, very. No one ever talks about Evil Dead when they think about possession, but it's like the ultimate.
best.
It's
Yeah,
like the ultimate possession, right? Like multiple people get possessed.
dude,
I think it's,
that movie,
but I think it's in that
all those.
idea that it doesn't feel like it's like a demon per se. It's more of like, even though it kind of is, but it's like this entity instead. It's like pure evil, kind of. So it's like weirdly not thrown in there a lot, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But it's totally possession. I mean, absolutely.
I mean, that's what, yeah, that 100% is what they base it on.
Because
It's
like,
just,
what
it
else would
wasn't
you
made that
what
way.
else would you throw that in? You know what I mean? You don't throw it in
Hmm.
slasher. You don't throw it in monster movie. You don't throw it. I mean, what is it really?
Yeah.
What is it really thrown in if you're gonna label it as a subgenre?
Hmm.
I feel like
Yeah.
possession would be what it probably goes in.
I've got a funny story about, so, all of the Evil Deads, one, two, and Army of Darkness, like, I love them to death. I've always loved those movies. But when Evil Dead come out, I'm sure you did it as well. I went and seen it in theaters, and I was like obsessed with it, dude. Like, my
Oh,
buddy
the
felt,
remake.
oh, it's killer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
it's
it's so
killer.
good. It's so good.
My buddy, he came with me and he fell asleep, and I'm just like, how
Oh,
the
jeez.
fuck did you fall asleep there? That's like
Yeah,
nothing but fucking blood, man.
we gotta get
And
you. We gotta get you new buddies, bro. They all fall asleep.
oh no. And so shortly after, it had been out for a little while. My daughter, she was young. She was like I don't know, two, something like that, maybe three. And just like we were talking earlier, you put a movie on while you're doing something. And I put that on, not thinking that she was paying attention. And she said, "Daddy, what happened to her?" And I said,
Ooh.
"Oh, oh shit, what are you talking about?" And she said, "I think that snake just went up her butt."
Uh,
When she gets like trapped in the fucking woods
yeah.
and it's like going up
Basically
her
a
and shit.
rape scene. Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy fuck, maybe I shouldn't start, or maybe I should start not
Right.
letting her like know that I'm watching these." So
Yeah.
after Evil Dead, I quit watching horror movies around my kids
Yeah.
as much as I can,
You're like, what's crazy is the best explanation you can give is it's exactly what happened. Snake went
Oh
up her
yeah, no,
butt.
that's what I told her. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was a
It's
snake.
exactly what happened. No one knows why, but that's what happened.
Yeah, but I turned it off and put the Minions on because that just released, and the
Good
Minions were a
idea.
big deal back then, and I
They
love that
were.
movie still.
Absolutely. Try to think if we got anything
Yeah,
else. I mean, there's obviously tons that we can talk about, but I mean, um,
I've got one more. There's Smile. What'd you think about Smile?
oh man. I actually really liked the movie. I had an issue with the ending. I thought that they showed the thing too much. Like the whatever
At
it
the
was at
end?
the end. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
man, you
yeah.
had that one scene where it's like walking in the fucking hallway. I'm like, that's it. That's all I need. But then it shows at the end, it's got like a lot of mouths, and maybe it'll get better over time once I just get used to the fact that they did it already. You know what I mean? But I didn't. I thought it kind of just it was a little lackluster because they showed it a little too much for me. But the rest of the
Yes.
movie was pretty good. I mean, it was a good. There's some really good jump scares in there for sure. I like a good jump scare if it's done right. If it's done too much, I'm not a huge fan. if the movie relies on it a little too much. But
Yeah, yeah. I feel that movie was. I think it's like your typical like now movie. It's
yeah, I
almost
agree with that. I know exactly what you're saying without you really saying that much in that
yeah.
statement. But I know
It's
exactly
just
what you're saying. It's just like a movie that came out, kind of, and
yeah, like it was good, but like they just don't make movies like they used to,
right,
and make that movie back, 2009 or in the 90s and dull everything down, but also make it alive. Like it's
right.
just you could have like I feel like that movie could have been absolutely killer back in the 90s, early
Oh, for sure.
2000s. And I do like that movie. It's kind of like Bird Box, but Bird Box I felt like was better than that one. But
Well,
like
and it was a little more mysterious, I think.
yeah,
Like, I think you're correct in saying that, like, I think if that movie was done in the 90s and they showed that fucking thing with all the jaws throughout the whole thing, I'd be like, this movie is fantastic. This
yeah,
movie fucking rules because it was like all, practical effects. It would have been sweet. But the
mhm,
fact that they saved the whole movie for the last 5 minutes, then you see this thing, and then it's kind of just lackluster because they showed it a little too much. I and it is one of those movies which is really weird. It's like there was all this like at first, we didn't get like a huge trailer for it. All of a sudden, it was
mhm,
just kind of appearing, and everybody was like, "Oh, the Smile movie looks crazy." Then it had a bunch of hype like the few weeks before it came out, and then all of a sudden, movie comes out, and then like it kind of disappeared really quick without
mhm.
any bad or that good of reviews. It was just kind of like
Yeah.
everybody saw it, and then it just went away. It wasn't like it was like
Well,
this
like anybody
whole.
said, yeah.
It wasn't like really divisive or anything. It was just all of a sudden went away, kind of.
Yeah. I like I mentioned before, I started a movie journal in 2023, and the first movie I watched of January 1st of 2023, I watched three movies: The Invitation, Hereditary, and Smile. And I wrote good movie, bad ending. The Monster was a bit too much. Could definitely have a sequel if done right. So
Right.
um, that's all I wrote. I gave it a 6 out of 10 stars. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was a
Not bad.
good movie. It just was. It was like I said, it's just kind of like a nowadays movie, and I'm just like all of them are almost the same in some way. Like
Yeah. I kind of felt like that with Barbarian, to be honest.
yeah, but I
I was
like
like,
Barbarian, but because only reason why I like Barbarian because it was different. Like it was
yeah,
so like fucking out there that
right.
it wasn't like your typical. But I get what you're saying too.
Yeah,
I
it
get
was
what you're
kind of
saying.
like that. Well, what was crazy was the twist kind of comes like halfway through the movie,
Yeah.
and you're like, I was blown away. I was like, whoa, what is going on? This is fucking wild. But then it was kind of just the same movie after that. But
Yeah, and I wish they would
but
have
that
kept it
twist was
just.
fucking crazy. I mean,
I wish it was crazy, but I wish they would have kept it just as like that fucking room because I'm a huge serial killer fan, and that was like
right.
a perfect fucking like scene and like oh shit, what the hell's gonna happen to me?
Right.
Like, and then she finds this other door that goes down into hell, pretty much, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, but like
It's
it
like this
kept me
guy's
going,
been yeah, it's like this guy's just been digging tunnels and living down there. And they didn't give enough
Yeah,
about the dad at the end. That was the other thing, is like you should have brought him in like 3/4 of the way through and given a little
yeah.
bit more on him, because all of a sudden he's just dying in that fucking room and you're like, okay. And then he
That's Richard
dies. And
Brake, right?
yeah, which was
Yeah,
a
I
great
fucking love him.
character. That was a great character too, but it's like I didn't get enough of him. I wanted more. So
Yeah, there
maybe you
could
could
definitely be a
do
prequel. Like
right.
like if he did a prequel because that was actually like fucked up that whole like
Oh,
prequel scene they gave.
definitely. That felt like that should have, but like that feels like it should be the first one. You know what I mean? Like it's so weird
Yeah.
that, if that came out as the sequel, it would be great, but you'd be like, oh, how does Barbarian kind of fit into this now, though? Because I feel like that movie would be way better.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
But it
You
would
can't
be
go wrong
cool
with Richard Brake, man. He's
because it would
fucking
it would also be like a entirely different movie, obviously. Like it would be
yeah.
entirely different. So it would be interesting to see, but it would
It
definitely
would be more of a serial killer
yeah.
rapist
Yeah.
movie, like
Yeah.
it would be like like your typical I think like Fargo and shit like that.
Yeah, you'd have to almost give it some like Devil's Rejects vibes, maybe not as gory and shit, but you'd have to have that sick and twisted feel to it because his character's like that, you know.
Fucked up, yeah.
It doesn't feel that bad because you only get so much of him in the movie, but yeah, kind of weird. Anyway, fuck, shit. Possession movies.
Good movies, man.
Yeah. That's all we got anyway, man. We're pretty much out of time. So good talk, man. Possession movies. Fucking love them. I think some good came out of this episode with I think we should do a Conjuring episode.
Yes.
I think we should do one about fucking what were we talking about? Exorcism of Emily Rose, or we should do one of those. So we got plenty of those episodes that are building up in our brains here that we'll definitely do. And if you guys as fans or listeners want to hear us talk about anything in particular, doesn't have to just be any of the movies we mentioned, but anything in particular, shoot us a DM on Instagram. You can follow us at Check the Candy, or comment on the video below. Let us know how you like the episode. Comment on some other possession movies you like. Anything you guys want us to cover, we can do that. Some really cool opportunities we have coming up that we haven't told anybody, that we're super excited about. So very excited to do those with you, Taylor. And yeah, catch all you guys later.
Yeah. Hey, good show, man. Good possession. Let's go watch some shit. Let's do this Exorcism of Emily Rose. I'm excited.
I'm down, man. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, have a good night. Have a good day. Stay classy, San Diego. What's a few others?
Oh, geez. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
There we go. End it with that shit.
Yeah, love it. All right, peace.
Doses.
No more room in hell. The dead walk here.
Please, God.
This is God.